Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 567 for the week of Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. One day we'll schedule a normal podcast. That won't be anytime soon, though. Yeah, we just like changing our dates up all the time. Can't keep it stable. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Rock Sager.
And Kevin.
I expect Toby will jump in halfay through.
Ruin the podcast. Mess everything
We'll
up.
hear. Yeah, he won't hear us. He'll log out 16 times, and won't be able to post this podcast. So we'll see what happens. I was hoping Toby would be here, but
it's Toby.
He's like a magical unicorn. Yeah. He'll figure it out. I told him he has to put his. We figured out why he has such shitty internet. Because on Wi-Fi, like halfway across his house. No,
what?
Hardwire that shit. Hardwire your computer if you're going to be working on stuff, especially like live streaming or video conferencing or this.
Mine is at least fluctuating between like low, high, and medium. But the
as long as you got a connection, you're close. Yeah, as long as you're close, I guess that's fine. Yeah, as long as it's disconnected. But no,
I'm doing it off
internet
Chromebook.
Kills them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all you need. Just being close to the router if you're going to be on Wi-Fi. So. Late week for comic news, but that's okay because we've got the first ever Fan Expo. Well, actually call it Fan Expo San Francisco. Yeah. Is it just called Fan Expo San Francisco? Yes, I wanted to get the official name. Like Comic-Con International San Diego is the official name of San Diego Comic.
Yeah, but we never call it that.
Comic-Con International San Diego. Yes, the Fan Expo San Francisco is the very first Fan Expo convention that was in San Francisco. Bay Area was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday this past Thanksgiving weekend, and we were all there, and Toby was there, and Lane was there, and like everyone was there. All the pod people were there. So
that's the big
yeah. You never do cons, so Yeah, we're going to talk about that for a little bit here and give our almost a good con report. I always like talking con. I guess first, Kevin, you've never Fan Expo, never been to one, right? Because they have a bunch.
I don't think I have been to one.
Because they used to be Wizard. They used to own a bunch of. I guess they bought a bunch of Wizard Worlds, from what I understood.
Wizard World I've been to, but I don't think I've been to the rebranded.
Yeah, since they've changed, yeah. There's, I'm trying to think. I was looking up here to see if I can grab the site. What they have. So they've had New Orleans, Portland, Vancouver. Those are the next ones. January, a couple in February. Toronto, Cleveland. Did they buy MegaCon? Did they buy MegaCon in Calgary? Those are listed on their website.
Maybe.
Huh? Like, MegaCon is like one of the biggest comic conventions in the country.
For Canada.
The Florida one?
Yeah. Oh. I wonder if they own MegaCon. That's crazy. The Calgary Expo is huge, too. That's almost 100,000 people. That's in April. Philadelphia, Dallas, that's June. Yeah, Denver, Boston, Chicago, that's June, August. Yeah, so, I mean, they've got, November 24th to 26th, 2023, Fan Expo. San Francisco. Yeah, so they've got a dozen plus conventions that they do, and I've said on this podcast before. I have talked to customers who have been to them and said they were pretty well run. So honestly, I think I was there Saturday. Kevin, you were there Friday and Sunday. Brock, you were there Sunday. Mm-hmm. At least as far as the way it was run, there's things they could fix, but this was a real legit kind of larger Comic-Con. It's not WonderCon, which is what, it's replacing here at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. That had built up over decades. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be that. But I think this was, pretty decent for a first time, especially for Thanksgiving weekend. Still sort of COVID at times, there were definitely some masks and I'm sure some people still don't want to go out. So, there's the little podunk local cons. We've all been to them. They're fine. They are what they are. You could be out in 20 minutes. All right. Then there's San Diego Comic-Con. This falls somewhere in that middle. This is like a big-time comic convention with real celebrities and real guests, but it's not, it's not at that 50,000, 100,000 person number yet. This is that, building mid-tier comic convention. So, I put WonderCon. I would put WonderCon and Anaheim firmly in that top tier.
Well,
even when it was in San Francisco, it was pretty big.
Well, I went the last year WonderCon was in San Francisco on Sunday. So that was even Sunday. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's Family Day. It's light." It was still packed.
Yeah, no,
WonderCon on that Sunday that I went. But yeah, that was it. This was not at that level, but I could see it growing into that.
Yeah, we do have a special guest that just joined. Tobias, are you there? Are you actually here? Is your internet going to work?
I'm still at work, dude.
Oh, cool. That's fine.
No, it's not. Do you know how cold it is getting home at this point, and it's going to get colder the later I stay here?
Oh, you on your e-bike?
Yeah, dude. It's like 46 degrees. I'm going to fucking die going home.
Put a helmet on or something.
Just Uber home,
you don't have
man.
You don't have to be on. You don't have to be at work and do the podcast.
Yeah, he does.
All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.
That's the only way he's going to have solid internet.
I was going to say maybe you should be on and do the podcast because that's the only way you're going to have an internet connection. Do whatever you would like, Toby. We'll be here for I don't know how long, an hour. Stay. You're not doing anything. What the fuck? It's not getting any colder. It's fine. You're fine.
It is getting colder.
Just Uber home, man.
Yeah,
I'm not rich like you, Brock. Sorry, dude.
I'm not rich either. Just all you got to do is Uber.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, Toby. So I was just saying, I don't know what you heard, but I was just saying that this was I feel a good first time mid-tier con. So Kevin was there Friday and Sunday, so I want to get the Friday experience first. You were there. You did not go Friday, right?
No,
I went Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, you just went Saturday, Sunday. I went Saturday.
And Sunday was a big toss-up because I feel like I got everything done that I really needed on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday was kind of a bonus.
Yeah, Brock went Sunday. So, Kevin, I want to hear Friday. Let's hear Friday. Friday was not even a half day. It was
it was like 4 hours, 3
preview,
hours?
right? Like they did like the Comic-Con preview night. Yes. Yeah. Was that worth it? I mean, you seem to get a lot of stuff in that time, so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I messaged you guys knowing you were going Saturday. So Lane and I were there Friday, and there was nothing different about Friday that wasn't there, except for the upstairs, the celebrity stuff. I'm talking about on the show floor. The show floor itself, there was nothing different on Friday than was Saturday and Sunday. There may have been some creators who were only appearing certain days or not, but the degree of the lightness of Friday night was just because my last experiences have been Baltimore, Emerald, and San Diego. That's just the last three, not even mentioning the earlier in the year. And so this was just a case of wow, I could spread my arms out and spin circles in these aisles and not hit anybody, not even disturb anybody. And so I was just mainly there for the comic stuff. I didn't really do any shopping, but for anybody who's been at a con, this will sum up in 30 seconds what Friday night was like. I was standing there talking to Joe Quesada, who had no line, and just wanted to chit chat. And then it was a ticketed thing. If you wanted to assign something, they got people. So then they started forming a queue when you bought your ticket. And so I had uninterrupted time with him for probably 10 minutes with no other fans or not even anybody lurking over my shoulder, just nobody. And then this dude came up and had a graded, it'd be awesome if this guy was a listener, but I don't know who it was. He had a graded, a 9-something Amazing Spider-Man blank cover signed by Stan Lee. and he paid for the Joe Quesada experience, which includes a drawing, and he wanted that cover signed. He was like going to crack the slab to have Joe draw on that cover. And Joe's like, could I please just do it on a piece of paper, like on a sketchbook or like a board? Can I please not do that cover, please? And the guy's like, no, this has been my dream. You don't understand. It's been my dream to have you sign this where Stan, or draw on it where Stan signed, please, please. And they finally relented. And this dude is literally like dancing. He did a little dance in the aisle.
There's a lot of dancing going on.
He was
so
happy.
Friday night.
He was so happy. And Joe was like, I am so nervous about doing this. I'm like, you could just see. And so then
Well, wait. Was it a like yellow label? Like
I didn't see the label. It was slabbed.
Okay.
It was slabbed.
Okay. Because if that's a certified like CGC label on a Stanley autograph, the fuck would you open it for?
I can't answer that. But that experience to get that, I think you get a certain amount of signatures and a drawing is not cheap. It's not cheap. I think it's like $1,000 for that commission. And some stuff signed, so whatever value you want to put on that. But anyway, my point in bringing that up is you go to any big show where Quesada is a guest and you're not going to stand there uninterrupted with him and nobody else around. I mean, there was nobody else around except the table handler. No one. It was just me and him. And he's flipping through my DC book. He's talking about the different people in the book, chit-chatting away, this and that. And finally, I ended the conversation because I'm like, I don't really have anything else to say. Like, nice meeting you. And the woman's like, oh, do you want to get a picture with him? That's included with the signature. I'm like, no, I'm good. Just because I don't collect photos of me with comic creators. It's just not something that I do. It's nothing against him. And they're kind of surprised, like, really? You don't want a photo? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Nice meeting you. Just on my way. That was a snapshot of Friday.
You know, I wonder if, I mean, Friday's a tough day. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to kill Friday next year. Like, does it feel worth it for them? For you, it's great. For them, though?
I think if they don't do it on Thanksgiving weekend, you could make Friday work.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The reason it was designed to be preview night is because any guests who were traveling there, they didn't want people to have to fly on Thanksgiving. So you could come Friday morning, check in, and still get to the convention. That was their strategy. Mm-hmm. So I think if you don't do a holiday weekend, you could make Friday a full day.
Okay, I was just going to say that. Was that the idea that Friday, it's like other fan expos like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, they're usually like 3 days. Or the ones that I've looked at have been 3 days.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah, I have a feeling it's next time then it's probably like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Is it still on Thanksgiving's weekend?
No, it's still the same weekend, yeah. Yeah, that's the weekend. What I heard was they signed a 5-year deal for that weekend. So
that's an annoying-ass weekend.
Hey, man.
Fine with me. I don't do anything.
I'll swap with Marshall and take the train up every year. I don't care. Like,
so what else you get done Friday?
No,
because you were just like doing commissions
and like signatures in that book. I added like 14 more signatures this weekend.
Nice.
I am now at. I was wrong on my numbering before. I am right now at 199. Right now. So whoever the next person is has got to be somebody special. Watch, it's going to be somebody lame. But I want it to be. I want it to be. Well, lame meaning I shouldn't say that. Not lame as in I don't like them, but as in like nobody of major significance.
It's okay, man. I'll do the deed if you want someone lame. I mean,
I guess this is a good question. So to remind people, Kevin has a amazing book of signatures of people that have worked for DC Comics going all the way back to the Golden Age. Who's your white whale at this point? I mean, who do you not have?
You mean, okay, white whale is in like it could happen, or white whale is in we're dreaming?
No, I mean
is Alan
Moore, right?
What?
No, living.
Alan Moore. Ryan Boland.
Yeah. I would think Boland does conventions, though. He's got to, right?
Maybe my best shot at him would be Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
You know, there's people.
I mean, Moore does not do this
right.
stuff. Period.
There are some tricky ones where it's people who I have stuff signed by who I've met, but I just didn't have that book with me, like Morrison, Gaiman, Jeff Johns. None of them are in there. But I have other stuff by them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call them white whales, you know.
No, Moore must be the one. I mean,
yeah, probably.
Just
probably, yeah.
You're just never going to get. Yeah. I mean, you just wander around his hometown. He'll probably just walk down the street one day.
I'd love to get
out of the woods.
Mazzucchelli in there. But yeah.
Have you got your spreadsheet going yet?
Yes. I've got a spreadsheet and a book map now. Like the Neil Adams Superman Muhammad Ali cover. Something like that. But nice. You know, the real attraction for me at the con, and then we can hand it off to Saturday, was that it didn't have a huge guest list, but the guests who were there are people who just don't do West Coast conventions / U.S. conventions at all. So there's a rep. It's the company's called Scott's Collectibles. They're out of the UK. Mm-hmm. So they had a table there, and I want to say they probably had 6 artists there.
So they had like Giuseppe Camuncoli.
They had
was
Julian
there.
Tedesco, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Martin Simmons. Yep. I had never met any of the people at Scott's at a show before, ever. And so, like, my appeal was you go like, oh, it's a Thanksgiving weekend, first year show. Not a great comic book show as far as like buying comic books, but as far as a guest list, for my purposes, it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's what I think. A lot of these cons, even like the smaller cons, they're not really for shopping. You know, if you want a comic book, go to like the Berkeley Con. We were talking about that earlier.
Yes,
you know, there are some that there are some that are going to be better suited for that. This was not that type of con. I mean, there's fun merch and Funko Pops and shirts.
I think when we were talking a couple of weeks ago, the real like the wow factor of Baltimore for me was it had a great guest list and was a great shopping con, and you very rarely find that in the same building.
Yeah, it's the high end comic book dealer convention doesn't really exist so much anymore. Because obviously, the audience for that I think is kind of limited. You know, like you're gonna have way more people interested in Funko Pops and T-shirts than you are vintage comic books, right? I mean, like,
well, eBay's killed those shows.
Yeah, exactly. Like the comic books have kind of fallen out of the comic book convention. The creators are still big, the celebrities are still big, but the actual vendors, it's just not really what people are there for anymore.
I didn't even hit. I don't even think I went in and looked at a comic book in like a book. Like
I seriously, I stopped to look at every place that had omnibuses because I was looking for a retail or less copy of the Avengers: The Crossing omnibus. The worst. It's the worst. It's out of print, and I need it. It's because I'm not going to fucking deal with buying those issues. I have all my Avengers books. I need The Crossing because it has all those shitty crossovers for The Crossing. It's terrible.
You told me the book I got from you on a super sale, and that's the only reason why I even picked it up from you. You don't have yourself.
It's like, I need it now. Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's hear about Saturday.
So me, Toby, Lane. I mean, we had friends that we met up there. Other people, like I think half the store was there, half our customer base, half our customers were there.
Well, there was a lot of people there for comic book people there for a big reason, which we've already heard one of them.
Yeah, no. Saturday I thought it was pretty well attended. Like it was never packed, but it was busy. There were people everywhere. So our main thing Saturday was Lane, our friend Lane, who's been on this podcast before, had picked up a bunch of autographs for Jim Lee because Jim Lee was going to be there on Saturday only. He did 3 series of signings and then a panel. So I didn't know what time Lane's was, but it ended up being the first thing, which is good that we got there nice and early. So he got in line. He were able to bring. He bought the max amount of items you could bring, which was 15 items. And I thought, that'd be cool. Lane's there. Maybe we'll just kind of tag along. But we didn't realize, or at least I didn't realize, I don't know if you did, Toby, but I didn't realize Lane also brought like these massive hardcovers. He had this stroller with like this box, and it had the Jim Lee XXL like X-Men hardcover that's like 2.5 feet tall. He had the
Lane was at the warehouse when I was working on Friday before he went up, and he was like redoing stuff. I was like, "That's all." He's like, "Oh man, I got to get all this stuff ready."
He has the X-Men Artist Edition, which from IDW, and then what was the third one, Toby?
IDW. Oh, you already mentioned that one. Right?
Yeah, the IDW one, the XXL. And I don't remember what the third one was.
There was one more.
It was one of his art books, right?
Was it just the DC Comics art one?
I can't remember what it was.
With like Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman.
No. That was the print they gave away, though.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
But Lane, I was actually on the phone for some reason because I know why I was on the phone, because I was looking for a Hook poster because Rufio Dante Basco was there, so I was desperately trying to find my Hook poster the night before.
Sorry, somebody had to do it.
So I was on the phone with him for like 2.5 hours the night before, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm still looking for books. I'm still bagging tag." I'm like, "God damn!"
Yeah, he brought a nice little selection of some key Jim Lee issues to get signed. So I was like, well, this is our in. We can just help Lane. Like, we don't have to like stand and watch from the distance. We can help him with these books. So they didn't care. They didn't say anything. So they're just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
You've met Jim a couple times.
Oh yeah, retailer stuff. Yeah. And I've met him at cons and stuff. And I've talked with him. Not for a long time, but retailer meetings and stuff. Yeah, I've totally talked to Jim Lee a few times. So yeah, we got up there and Lane was kind of like fussing about, like, I don't know, like it was, it just took a minute to get.
You guys is perfect. It's like Toby, Jim Lee, you, and then Lane doing something awkwardly weird.
Like, we were trying, and then like, dude, we go up, and I'm sorry, Lane, if you're listening to this, I'm not trying to rag into here, but we're like, Lane, this is your stuff. Like, I'm like,
it's his moment. It's his. We were like the lackeys. We were the helpers. And we're like, like Jim was talking to us. We're like, no, that's the guy. Like,
he paid. This is all his shit. This isn't ours. Yeah.
Along for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But we got Lane's stuff signed, and we got some of those prints. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
May have one for you, Brock. And then they just we got a picture. Wait, and even Lane was like, "No,
wait a second, I have something signed to Brock from Jim Lee."
No, just signed. No, he didn't sign. No, he didn't press sign any of that stuff.
So good. Right.
No, they were all came pre-signed. Okay. But they, they're like, "Oh, you guys want pictures too?" And the same thing. Kevin over like, "Yeah," and Lane's just like, "No, it's all right." And I'm like, "The fuck over here! Like, this is your picture."
Like, I think like me and Ryan were literally like yelling at Lane, going, "Come here, right?"
We, like, jump over, and Lane's just like, "No," and we're like, "Get over here! What are you doing, Lane?"
That picture of Lane.
Yeah, and we're like, take the damn mask off. Let's do a picture. Just like, what the fuck is happening?
You know what, Toby? You know what I love about that picture is I think Ryan posted 2 of them. So you'll always there's always going to be a mulligan in one of the photos where it just doesn't, like, one photo is always going to be better than the other. But those 2 are exactly the same. It's like Ryan posted the same photo twice, and I'm trying to spot this, like a where's Waldo, what the difference?
Well, they took like 3 photos, I think. Just, 1, 2, 3, and it's like, and like, no one blinked. Right. It was just, just big smiles, and Lane's very like, just like, just like off to the side, like looking like he didn't want to be there.
Both of them.
Yeah, like my friends forced me to do this. Look.
Well, it's like his feet. He was doing something weird with his feet, so it looks like he kind of did a mini jump or something.
It was a funny moment. It was kind of a funny moment, but it's like, sorry, Lane, we're not. Love you, man, but it was really funny.
Well, I mean, those things are hustling you along pretty quickly, right? There's no real time for chit chat. You get your maybe 10. This isn't 10 minutes with Joe Quesada, Kevin. This is 10 seconds with Jim Lee, right? You get your maybe 30 seconds, but there was a couple hundred people probably. So they did. That was the gold ticket signing or whatever. Then they had like the CGC signing was like midday, and then the end of the day they did like just the one off. Like people just got like the one signature. And they did that downstairs. So they kind of had moved Jim around a few different places. But so that took a little while. But I mean, they were a little late getting started, but once they got going, things went pretty quick. So, and then really, and then mostly just wandered after that.
But you guys were there. You guys were there all day.
Yeah. So, well, no. We did other stuff. So, trying to remember what we went back and walked the floor, and again, it was, look, it's not Comic-Con busy, but it was pretty busy. I think the floor was.
Well, I'll say it wasn't dead. It was definitely on the chiller side, but it never felt like you didn't have like a good time. Like it was a really chill con. I really actually enjoyed it. Like no line was long. Everything was kind of short. You could do everything very fast, and you could just kind of enjoy yourself. Like there was no stress level at all.
But it wasn't like Kevin was saying when he was there Friday, there was like no one around, and he talked to Joe Quesada for 10 minutes. That was not the case on Saturday.
There was definitely people.
I will say, just for the record, on Friday, the longest line, quote, line, I don't even know you call it that, I stood in, it was like 3 people. The one person I saw on Friday with a legitimately long comic book convention line was Jeff Loeb on Friday.
Yeah, him and Quesada I saw later in the day, and they had kind of like looped Quesada's people like behind, like backstage. But it wasn't. Well,
at least when I went, it wasn't long. It was like maybe like 10 people or 15. No, it was like more like 10. But it just looped into the back.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very short and it went very quick.
Yeah, Loeb had 10, 15 people, but it was like a constant flow. Like people kept joining the line, so it went pretty well. Yeah, we mostly just kind of putzed around for a few hours. Trying to remember what specifically what we did after that, because Jim Lee had his panel at 3. So what did we do? I think we just shot.
Well, I'll tell you what we did, because I was there with you pretty much the entire time. We went in, we got the lay of the land. Then we heard from Lane, and we joined Lane for Jim Lee thing.
Yeah, we did kind of the once around. We did Jim Lee. Oh, yeah. Then we just had lunch, and then I went to the Jim Lee panel. Yeah,
well, we split up for a split second. That's when I did the Quesada. You kind of went looking. I think you bought a shirt for Leanne. And then we connected that to Jim Lee panel.
So now, you did Quesada, and you got your Daredevil.
Yeah,
the hardcover,
like Kevin Smith Daredevil hardcover. Yeah,
and you said you had got that signed by Kevin Smith like 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I've been like, look, Quesada's like Kevin said, is one of those East Coast guys that I just usually never see. So I was like, well, I would love to have like Quesada in one of my favorite runs of Daredevil, like in the book. So. Even though I've already upgraded to better versions of that hardcover, I had to get Quesada to sign that one because I already got Kevin to sign it, and it has a way, way, way cooler cover. So I'm pretty stoked about it. But the real story, though, is the Jim Lee panel.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what the story is?
You can tell the story. You can tell the story.
Well, as some people may know that attend some Jim Lee panels in the past, he is very nice and usually gives away some art. And what he does is he usually asks for some weird thing that someone may have, and that's kind of his way of kind of raffling it off in his own way. And he was like going down like hairpin, toothpick, right? Nobody, and he did 3 pieces. He did like a Wonder Woman, he did a Cyclops, and he did, what was the third one? Batman. He did a Batman, right?
Yeah, just Batman. Yeah. Like the con head sketch.
Like quick ones. They're not
the remark, right? As they call them now.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, the Wonder Woman was up, and I'm like, man, I would really like that one. And all of a sudden, like he goes through the list, and then finally he goes, "Who here has a Taco Bell receipt?" And I'm like, you mother effer. I just had a long talk from my doctor a couple of weeks ago. I completely laid off carbs. I usually have like about 3 Taco Bell receipts in my damn pocket just about every fucking convention. The one convention I stopped eating Taco Bell is the convention. He has. And the funniest thing is, I probably, because I don't like empty my pockets a lot. I just happened to also empty my pockets before the con just to have Like, I probably had one in there, like, from a while ago even, right?
Why do I get a feeling Toby's going to always have a Taco Bell receipt in his wallet for the rest of his life?
Dude, no, I'm going to have a Taco Bell receipt, a Chipotle receipt. I'm going to go get someone's McDonald's receipt. Dude.
You going to go back and yell at your doctor?
No. I'm well, next time he's going to be, who has this receipt? I'm like, me. But hold on, I'm going to roll up my Rolodex. I'm like, hold on.
When he says Taco Bell, I just see Toby just go like, oh, and he just starts fidgeting because he's like, wait.
Yeah, that's and that's of course after San Diego, where I think me and Ryan were sitting, and literally like almost everybody in our row got like art.
Yeah, if I'm sure we told the story in the podcast, but at San Diego, literally the person to the right of Toby and to the left of me got art, and like real legit art at that Wildstorm panel, and we're like,
there was that one San Diego where you're texting Toby, tell him about the burrito or some shit.
Yeah. Oh,
was that? No, I think that was an.
Was that WonderCon?
One, yeah,
it was
I think that was a WonderCon. Yeah, that one did work out.
Yeah,
and that was one of the ones. That was, I mean, people that listen to the pod probably already know this story, but that one was pretty funny because Ryan frantically starts texting, calling me, and anything possible to get a hold of me, right? And I finally like pick up, and because I'm like, leave me alone, I'm in line. And then Ryan is like, no, go find Jim Lee. I'm like, well, this is the line I'm in. You don't understand. I'm in line on the Jim Lee line. He goes, no, you go up, leave your spot and go up, and you have to yell this random thing. And I was like, sure. And I forgot what it was. It was
a burrito or something like that.
Chimichanga?
Chimichanga. Well, I can't remember what it was. Yeah,
I think it was chimichanga. So I literally like left my spot in line, went to the front, and I'm like, Jim. He goes like, yeah, chimichanga? He goes, you're a winner. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, he. This is like early days of Twitter. He tweeted like, yeah, the first person to come up to me and yell, I'll say it was chimichanga, and yell chimichanga will get a free. And it's like it pops up immediately in my feed, and I just call Toby. I'm like, Toby, run to Jim Lee right now.
Yeah, that one did work out. Thank you very much, Ryan. That was very, very nice of you. And you were gracious enough to let me have it. I was like, Ryan, what do you want? Ryan,
yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Ryan was like, no, you can have. I was like, dude, that's very cool of you. So I really appreciate
it. Unfortunately, Toby didn't. His Taco Bell, she did not.
My Taco Bell days may be over, but goddamn, man, any other con would have had at least one, if not three, Taco Bell receipts in my pocket, man.
It's very funny.
I love Taco Bell, man. I miss it dearly.
To
be honest with you, that would have been a nice send-off. If my last Taco Bell receipt got me a sketch, I would be like,
Jim Lee art?
I'd be like, okay, that was well worth it. I'm done with Taco Bell.
That'd be pretty funny.
That would be a funny story. That would have been the sunset moment. I'm like, Taco Bell, you've been good to me. Maybe not health-wise, but you've been good to me. But you got me at the very end, this Jim Lee piece. That would have been the perfect send-off, man. That would have been funny as hell.
Yeah, so I think at that point, I think you went up to... Did you go scoot out, check out the...
No, so we had a customer that was... we had one of the customers that was hanging out
Baron,
with you. I think you went downstairs. I wanted to check out Celebrity Row, which is on the third floor. So the way they had it, the convention floor was at the bottom. The panels were in the middle, and then the middle as in the second story, and the third one was all the celebrities. I basically just went to do some recon just to see what the prices were, how it's run, or how busy it was. And to my surprise, like the Smallville people, I thought were, to me at least, I thought they were the big draw. I mean, next besides like Ming-Na and some other folks, right? And their lines were like pretty much empty. Like I actually people were able to talk to like folks for a fairly long time. I was actually kind of like, whoa, this is really actually kind of cool. Like maybe not business wise for the celebrities, but for the fan, they probably had a really great time. To my other surprise too, one of the longest lines, at least when I went up there the first time, was Kevin Smith. After all these years, I was like, and next to some like, and this is not doing any shades at Kevin, but like he had a bigger line than any of the Smallville guys. He had a bigger line than I mean, at the time, yeah, it was the biggest line, like, than any of the other celebrities up there. I was like, kind of impressed. I was like, that's cool.
Well, what I like about this con, and it looks like from looking at some of their other shows that they do a similar thing, is that they're very smart about having not just like random people, right? So when it's Kevin Smith, it's also Jason Mewes and like the entire cast of Clerks, right?
Yeah, they theme it, yeah.
It's themed very, very well, right? So, and I think if you're gonna come, if it's just Kevin Smith, I don't think his line would have been quite as long. But because it's everyone, that's I think going to draw more people out because they're like, oh, I can get the entire cast. That's awesome, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's sort of why. Some of the, at least the little bit that I saw, it seemed like they were like people would hit not just the one person. The people were there for everyone in that little group.
Yeah, and which is also good for business. Let's be honest. Like, right. If he could get the entire cast, he could get the entire cast.
Well, so. And that's what made Heroes and Villains so good, and the Walker Stalker con when it was like, here's a bunch of people from Walking Dead, here's everyone from Arrow, right? Like it's themed very well, so people were more likely to like, well, you like one, you like them all. It's all the same, right? So,
well, in the themes for this year, they did Clerks, Smallville.
Yeah,
they had like 3 people from Sons of Anarchy.
They were supposed to have Mandalorian, but like, half those people backed out.
Those pretty much all fell apart.
That's my one big, and it's the problem of the weekend is that my one big complaint was, the people that canceled. I think it would have been much busier had some of those people not canceled.
Sure.
Yeah, they lost some big names, and so that's going to be just a tough weekend to get the big celebrities out. I think
I will give them this: they did at least like swing for the fences with the guest list going into this, right? Like the amount of talent that they had that was like
too many cancellations.
Too many cancellations, right?
It's a big red flag.
But they did pick up some along the way, so that was at least kind of balancing, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys also made a stop to give 2 people a warning.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you stop and talk to Tom and Mitch? And say, you're going to see Brock tomorrow.
I went down to So during that, just a lot of wandering. See what was out there. Got some random stuff. Got some T-shirts. Tom King, Mitch Gerrits were there, so I went down and Lane would do when that dude wants autographs. He doesn't want like one autograph. He wants like his entire run signed. So
I know.
I brought the hardcover for Strange Adventure. He brought every issue, like every variant cover to get signed. And then Lane also got a one of the Tom King the world famous I'm Sorry sketches, which is Tom King's stick figure drawings, which are incredible. And then he got one of the most jaw dropping Rorschach sketches from Mitch Gerrits. It was so you loved it, huh, Toby?
Oh my God, I think about it all the time. Like
it was so weird watching.
It was mesmerizing, like watching it being done. I was like, holy shit.
Well, I thought it was really funny because when we were kind of talking to them while they were about drawing, and I felt bad because like we were one of the first people in line. So Lane's like, sign these like 25 books, and also I want a commission from both of you. And there's like 50, well, maybe not 50, like 30 people behind us, and they're just like just waiting there while Lane has this like box of stuff getting signed by him.
Well, it was also that Tom and Mitch are so friendly with you, so they're like. Yeah. Wait, like, so, there's 3 of us. and so, But
the guy behind us, he got like a show. Like, he was part of the party, but everyone else behind him was just like, just sitting there waiting.
I was just so mesmerized by the Rorschach, man. I'm so jealous of that one. Like, I'm not even a Rorschach fan. I mean, I like the character, but holy hell, man.
Well, it was
like
weird.
Incredible.
It was funny because we were all kind of talking with Tom King while he was drawing, and Mitch Gerrits just kind of there working on this thing. And we're like, Tom's the freak show. Like, he's the one you're going to pay attention to because it's funny because he's just having a blast. Well, I was like, Mitch, we don't have to worry about you. We know yours is going to be amazing. And he kind of laughed, and he's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this sketch. And I'm looking at him, and I was in my head, I was thinking, I also don't know what you're doing with the sketch. I don't see what this is. Like, I see what you're doing. It's Rorschach.
I saw it from a mile away. I'm like, holy hell.
And then all of a sudden, he starts adding some like greens and some white out. And I'm like, what the I'm like, okay, what? I don't like my dumb brain can't figure out where this is going. And then he puts those last couple touches on it. And I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. Like, it was like magic at the end. It all came together when he like connected a few lines and you're like, oh, I see what's happening. It's got he basically did like this, like, you know, like the green light of like a street light, you know, like a red, green, you know, yellow, like a green light reflecting off him, and the whiteout's the rain, and it's super cool looking. It just is like magic coming together. It was so fascinating to watch him draw it.
I was like, Lane is a huge collector, and he has quite a few pieces to be jealous of.
Our collector, he's a massive. But and I think this. I don't know, man. This might be the most jealous I've ever been. I was like, what the hell? What the? Oh, he's not. Oh no, he is. Oh, he is. He is doing that. Oh, he's doing that too. Oh, the rain is coming. And I was like, I think Ryan was just chatting away. I think I was just mesmerized by the fucking art. I was like, well, like I said, I couldn't figure out what he was doing. And I could see Rorschach. I could see it, right? I could see the hat. I could see the trench coat. I'm like, yeah, okay. It just looks like a sketch. It just doesn't look like anything special. And I was like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. It may be a little pricey, but okay. Like, yeah, that's okay. And then he keeps going and adding, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'll get Lane to post it on the Facebook group or something like that. I don't know if maybe it won't look quite as good in like a photo because you're missing some of the texture and like the lighting of like.
It's incredible, man.
It's cool. Lane got a nice piece. Lane got a very, very nice
beautiful
piece.
I'm very, very jealous of that one. I think that was only the second. Well, no, there's a few times, but this is probably the most jealous. But no, what's funny though is the trash talk between the two, because Tom the entire time was like, "Hey man, I got 3 characters done. Where the fuck you at?" Like, it's hilarious.
Well, Lane wanted some help on a suggestion on what to draw, so he had done the last time he got a sketch from Tom King. It was Kite Man, of course, Kite Man. So I said, well, it's gonna have the Batcat wedding, right? So he so he did his version of the Batcat wedding, and he just kept drawing villains, and he's like, I'm gonna draw Man-Bat. I don't know how to draw Man-Bat. So he drew a pair of ears coming out of the corner of the book, and it just says, I'm Man-Bat. It's very funny. It's very, very funny.
Actually, I really like his Joker. I really, really, really like it.
The big, he started grabbing all the colors and like coloring it and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that was a good time. I really enjoyed that one too.
Cool. No, they're worth it for the just to get the two of them together. They're very, very funny together, and Tom's a nutbag. He's really great. I don't know.
You guys stayed the whole day, right? Like
we did, and then this was Toby. This is all Toby's fault. Toby's like, well, I'm gonna go back. I think I want to do Smallville. I'm like, okay, like that's fine. We'll go check.
Well, you have to preface that I went up with you, so we went together. So you can't just go home unless or I go home with Lane. Like we have to figure it out. Like
I drove you up there. Yeah, we went together.
But you guys were actually technically done at that point. You were like, if I didn't do the Smallville thing, I think you guys probably would have just taken off, right?
Yeah, so, I was like, I think I'm kind of done. I think I'm out. And you were like, well, I want to go look at Smallville. I want to go look at Tom Welling. And he's like, hey, there's nothing else I want to get Kristen Couric. Yeah, let me go look. And I'm like, if I go up there, if I go in line with you, I'm getting something signed. So let's go look. And we barely caught them. I mean, the con was starting to wrap up at this point. Technically an hour from closing, but the Celebrity Hall was done.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people were already gone. Tom Welling, Kristen Couric. Couric? I can never pronounce her name right.
I always call it Couric, but
Couric, yeah. And Michael Rosenbaum were all there, and I'm like, oh, if I'm getting one, I'm getting all three. So,
yeah.
got an autograph from all three of them.
Get you all three are there. I'm going to take care of it.
Exactly right. That's what I mean. That's why I did it, because I was like, if it's just Tom Welling, that's cool, sure. But the fact that it's all three of them, it's like, well, of course, like, yeah, you have to. So, and Tom, look,
he was super cool.
They were actors. Cool. Yeah. Michael Rosenbaum was cool. Like he was cool to talk to for a minute. He kind of seemed like he was done. Kristen Kirk was extraordinarily nice to every single person, but think she was done too. They've
been there a day. Right?
They've been there all day. Right. Yeah. Tom Welling, legitimate. Again, maybe he's just a very, very good actor, but he seemed legitimately like really excited to meet everyone. Like he really did seem like he was having a good time. And I always have a kind of a spiel for the celebrities that are in comic things, and this isn't bullshit. It's real, and it's not only do I like the thing that you do, but you help me because you guys make the TV shows, and you guys are the stars in the TV shows and movies that expose comic books to so many more people, and especially Smallville, like so instrumental for television superhero stuff. There'd be no Arrowverse without it, right? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
Smallville was super influential for like everything that came after it. So there
was a whole generation that grew up.
I mean, us, we're a little bit, we're the older.
I don't think we were the target audience, Ryan. We were just part of it because we were nerds. And we're like, there's a Superman show.
That's what I mean. We were a little bit older, but we were still in that generation of people that watched it when it came out, right? I mean, I saw it from episode 1.
Same.
And I mean, and I told Stephen Amell and all the Arrowverse people the same thing. It's like, look, it's like you guys helped my career because your shows bring more people to comic stores at the end of the day. So it's not just thank you because I like it, but also thank you because you helped the entire industry. And it's true. And Tom Welling was like super. He really liked it. He was like, oh yeah. He goes, I always see comic book stores when I'm on vacation and walking around. He's like, sometimes I feel like I should just go in and introduce myself. He goes, but I never do. And I'm like, you 100% should. Like everyone in the store will like shit their pants if you just walk in.
Shit their pants.
Like dude, like totally go in and say hi. Like you're gonna be, everyone in the store is gonna love you. So
Ryan, you're gonna have a good smile when like in a month or 2 months some random news article comes out. Tom Welling randomly shows up at this random comic book store out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean if you why not? All right, like look. See a comic book fan? Probably not, right? Like, who cares? But it's like, go in, see the things, say hi, and I'm sure someone's going.
It was funny. I originally, I mean, I Tom is awesome, but I was going back and forth. I want to do a picture, but then we did the cool picture of Brandon Routh when we did Heroes and Villains, and it was like me, Ryan, and Brandon. And I was like, you know what? This is too good to pass up because Ryan is here. Another Superman is here. I was like, Ryan, come over here. We're going to do a picture. And what Tom was saying, it was cool too because I was like, yeah, man, come over. You could throw it up in the shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we just need Tyler Hoechlin and Hoechlin? I think that's his name.
Yeah, and Henry.
Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Well, at that point, Henry can't turn us down because he has to oblige. Right?
I got 3.
Yeah.
Halfway there.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, and Dean Cain? He probably ends up better.
Well,
there's a huge asterisk with that one.
Sorry, I'm not going to be going to the Republican National Convention or anything like that. So I'm unlikely to run into Dean Cain anytime soon.
I'm gonna have to cut out Board of Ryan for that picture.
Just wait till it's on the TV in the shop playing one of those old episodes, and then just you two stand there and snap it.
I'll tell you, if it was Dean Cain and
Terry Hatcher,
I would probably do it. If it, that would be the only way. Like he would have to break to.
So it would be you, Toby, Terry, and then him in the background.
Like if it was the two of them together, maybe that would be enough. Just him, no. At least then I have an excuse. Come on,
I'll be honest with you, I actually didn't know that about him. But
I mean, you know what happened in Supergirl, right? The TV show. He was her dad on that show, right?
Yeah.
They basically just like they fucking poochied him like he just died off screen one day, and they're like, oh yeah, your father died. Oh well, and we'll never talk about him again. He came out as a hardcore Trumper and has become a real shitbag on the internet, like real piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, now that I think about it, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
That's what I was like.
That's a tough one.
Sorry to open that can of worms that I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Sorry,
he's
listeners.
a real piece
I'm
of
more
work.
sorry to the listeners. Yeah. But anyways.
And then that was the actual end of the convention, I think.
For Saturday.
Yeah, for Saturday. Yeah.
Well,
so on your Sunday. And then you guys all went back Sunday. So yeah, let me hear the Sunday stories.
I actually had a great conversation with Rosenbaum because years and years and years ago, I actually worked on a short film that he was on. So it was a film I was working on, and they kept calling this guy, I forget. No, well, they didn't call him his name till later, right? So I was just like, man, this guy feels so familiar. Like I like working on it, right? Setting up lights and stuff, and I'm like, man, this guy just feels so familiar. Like, why can't I put my hand on it, right? Oh, why I know this guy, and eventually they were like Rosenbaum. I'm like, holy hell, it's Lex, and I watch this guy every week on TV, right? I was like, he had a wig on, and after the shoot was done, he took the wig off. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking Lex. So years ago, like when I was on that short film, I was able to get it. Like I think one of the makeup ladies had a Polaroid. This is just stating how old I am. That it was pre-phones with cameras and all that stuff. So one of the makeup ladies had a Polaroid. We took a picture, and he signed a picture. That was really cool of him. So yeah, I brought that back up, and he was like, "Oh man, that was hella years ago." I'm like, "Yeah, it was," but that was kind of cool to just kind of see him and revisit that story. But yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I wonder, like at that time he was so young too. Like, would you even recognize him with hair? Because we only knew him with his head shaved.
Yeah, but you only knew him as Lex, right? So yeah, and then he had a wig on, and the wig was like kind of longish. So I just couldn't pinpoint it. And he was like, "Yeah, man, on that shoot I was in because I think he was in a wheelchair. I actually forgot that part. It's like, oh man, yeah, that shoot I was in the wheelchair the entire time." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So I kind of forgot that part, but yeah, it was kind of nice revisiting that.
That's pretty good. So Sunday, tell me all about Sunday. Brock, let's hear because you went up with your kids. You had a pretty different experience than everyone else just because of the stuff you did. So, and Kevin, you and Toby can obviously, chime in as the day progresses. But yeah, let's hear your Sunday.
So, the kids and I decided to make a day trip of it, and so we took the train up. So we had to wake up really early and catch the 7:30 train in Sunnyvale. But we got up there with plenty of time to walk to the convention, and we got in. We even stopped like Whole Foods down on 4th just to get breakfast. But we got to the convention. Like getting through ticketing was super easy. Like it was a little.
Oh, we did not talk about the ticket thing. That's yeah. You could talk about that. That was. So that's maybe the one problem I have with the convention is I was like, this ticketing system sucks. Like you need to change this for next year.
So you went in only on one side, so of the convention center over at Moscone West, to go and have them scan your QR code to get your badge, and then you had to activate your you had to scan a QR code to activate your badge and do all this stuff, and then you left from the area that you were that was there in that corner to go back out up 4th and then enter through the middle or closer to the other side of the convention and then scan in with your activated badge. And then that was right where the show floor was. So they could have done that in a much smoother system of just people coming into the convention that way.
Just scan the barcode in your email and give you the badge as you walk in the front door. I didn't get the whole now you activate it and then you go back in this other door. It's really weird.
That was. I think the activation was for the touch. Because did you guys leave it all at any time?
Yeah. We went and got lunch and stuff like that. So like, but I mean, they just have those badges activated. Like Comic-Con is not this complicated. It's weird.
I think Emerald does it this way. I think.
Well, I just thought it was weird that you had to go back outside and then around.
No, but yeah, sure, but I think the Repop conventions, and actually, to be honest with you, this convention reminded me a lot of a mini Repop convention. So like New York Comic Con, which is like the big one, and Emerald is the other big one. But it reminded me like a mini version of Repop, really.
But yeah, other than that, like the kids got wristbands. We went in and we just started with we were there early, and we were on the set floor before 10. Like they were just kind of letting people go in, probably like after 9:45.
Yeah, you get that at smaller cons. I think they're like
and so I would say like early on. I mean, there wasn't that many people. Like Kevin said, it was like you could almost twirl around and stuff and dance in aisles. And so I kind of was just like telling my kids, hey, this is kind of what a convention is. You kind of go around and get the lay of the land. You know who you kind of want to see. So you kind of have to figure out where they're going to be and all that stuff. And so we were just wandering around and like, I met like a few of them. I can't remember their names, but the artist on Nice House on the Lake. I got a couple books signed by him, a picture with him and the kids. Is it Miranda Brothers, the guys that did We Live? I took a picture with those guys. I didn't have anything for them to sign. So, got my Poison Ivy signed by the Takari. I can't remember the guy's name. Takara, yeah, I got the stuff signed by him, but that guy like signed it right across the top of like the Poison Ivy logo, and I was like, really? Like,
dude, you got to specify if you don't want it signed somewhere.
Yeah,
you can get one of those cutout board or things like Lane has. Yeah, you sign exactly whether you want them to.
Although Brock, it was funny when I was there on Sunday. I was talking to Felix at the Felix Comic Art table, and this is like 10:10 on Sunday. And I'm holding Lane's bag. I'll come back to that later. I'm holding Lane's Comics Conspiracy bag. And Felix goes, oh, I've seen your other members of your Comics Conspiracy crew. I'm like, oh, you mean yesterday? He goes, no, this morning. I'm like, hasn't this show been open for like 9 minutes at this point? Who the hell have you seen? What are you talking about? So you must have beelined back there, man.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was like, oh, these are vendors. I don't need these fuckers right now. I need to go down and find artists. Because I was trying to figure out where like Mitch was and Tom was and like all those people. But I got signed by him. My daughter wanted to see Jessica Fong again. So we went and saw her booth and got another print for my daughter. I talked with Liam Sharp for a minute. I met him and his wife. He kind of recognized me.
Oh, yeah. I talked to Liam Sharp for like 10 minutes, too. That's right. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. It was funny because he was right next to Jim Lee, where the Jim Lee's signing was, like the day, like the night signing. And so it was packed over there. And then everyone next to him was sort of like, well, it's all Jim Lee. So,
all Jim Lee. Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up talking to him for a while. Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
But I actually brought my Encore book. The gold one, because he's doing like the 3 on Kickstarter, and I hadn't gotten my silver one yet, and so we brought like apparently the postman didn't come to pick them up when they were supposed to, and so I was talking with his wife about it, and we had a laugh. But thing that the Chronicles of that Kickstarter exclusive that they did with that first book, apparently they just signed everyone. But they didn't sign mine, and somehow I got a copy that was unsigned, so they signed that one for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
How bizarre.
And then they gave me another one of the cards, the insert cards, but I think I got the same one I got before, but I didn't complain. But yeah, no, he was great. Talked to him for a minute and talked to his wife and took pictures. It was great. We were waiting for Tom and Mitch to show up around 11. And so I'm wandering around, and then all of a sudden I bump into Kevin, and I'm like, "You're here?" He's like, "Yeah." I took Lane's badge. I was like, why? And you, because you brought more stuff, I guess, for him. Was that it, Kevin?
Well, as I told Toby and Ryan on Saturday, I was like, after 3 hours at that show on Friday, I was good to go. I was done. And then I spent all of Saturday going, damn, I really wish I had done X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's so annoying. I was like, I was done. And then all of Saturday, I'm like, God, I really should have gotten a piece of art from Mitch while he's just sitting right there. I really should have gone for Tedesco, Julian Tedesco, whose art I love. And so Lane had bought a 3-day badge, but he was having it was uncomfortable for him to stay on the show floor for 3 full days walking around because he has a problem with his foot. He's having a problem with his foot. And so I said, is there any deal to be made here? Like, I can pay you for the Sunday portion of your badge to offset the cost. And he says, well, I have all these books for CBCS. Why don't you just take all those? So that was our exchange. So he gave me this bag of books to take up to get slabbed. Yeah, and so I was walking. That's when I saw you. The only reason I was there, literally the only reason I was there, because I spent all of Saturday going, damn, I really wish I had done these other things on Friday. It was so irritating. I almost wanted to cock block myself and not go back just for being so annoying. But yeah, Sunday.
The funny thing about this, Kevin, is you don't know the other side of that story, actually. So as we were leaving on Saturday, Ryan was done, and Lane and me were talking, and I was kind of like, man, I kind of want to come back, but kind of not. I was kind of on I got the big hits done, and I'm pretty happy, and it was fun. It was a fun day. I don't want to jinx it by messing it up, and I was like totally okay with not going back the next day. So in my mind, I was kind of like, I'll leave it up to fate, like. If Lane is going to go up and he wants to head up together, we'll go, And so I kept asking him, what are you thinking? How you feeling? How's your foot? He goes, I don't know. And he goes, you know what? Let's decide later. Call me or I call you. I called him later that night. He never picked up. Later, I found out he had his phone on silent. I called him the next morning. Go, so what's the verdict? What are we doing? Right? And he was like, oh, I'm already. I heard him in the car. I'm like, wait, you're in the car? Did you leave me behind? Like, did you ninja me again? Like what he does at Comic-Con usually, he leaves the hotel room and just ninjas me. I'm like, little bitch. Like, did you just leave me behind? And I'm like on my own now. And he goes, no, man. I'm heading up to Kevin's and dropping off the badge. I was like, Kevin's? I'm like, he goes, yeah, man, I never heard back from you. I'm like, bitch, I called you. And he goes, oh, hold on. I never heard it. So I was like, because otherwise I could have grabbed the badge, come and pick you up, and we head up together. But yeah, none of that worked out.
Right.
But you had dropped off the stuff at CBS, and you were like, "Oh fuck, those forms are just the worst."
Oh my god, yeah, because I'd never dealt with those guys before.
Yeah, and so we're standing, and we're standing there. We had met, and we were close to Tom King's booth. And Mitch Gerard's booth, and so we walked over, but Mandy was there, right? Their handler lady, and so we start talking to her just to figure stuff out, and she's saying hi to my kids and stuff, and then Mitch rolls up with his son and his wife, and we're like, oh yeah, here's, and then it was just we were the front of the line, and we got to talk to them for what? 20 minutes almost, Kevin.
Yeah.
Was it about 20 minutes?
Yeah. That's the best part of that was me and Toby with Bruno Redondo at Comic-Con when Tom Taylor was running super late. So it's a group signing, so they gotta wait for the other guy. Yeah. So we just talked to him for forever. Yeah. So if Tom's running late, then you get to hang out with Mitch for a while.
And Mandy's like, well, what do you want? And I told her, and so she's like, well, Mitch can already do this stuff, and we'll just start a pile. So we started the line for Mitch, and then made the other line for Tom. But yeah, no, it was great. I got little sketches. I took my my Mr. Miracle, not the oversized hardcover, but the regular hardcover. The limited one that they had, I took that up to get signed, and my Strange Adventures deluxe one, or no, it was the regular one to get signed. And Mitch did his little, Mr. Miracle Head thing, and Mr. Terrific in the Strange Adventures, and then I got a Tom King. I'm sorry, in my Strange Adventures hardcover, he did a beautiful Batman on the Golden Gate Bridge, screaming "Rice-A-Roni."
It's pretty funny.
But like, he's drawing, like, what is like San Francisco and all this stuff, and I'm like, you need to put like cross beams on the bridge. And he sits there and he's drawing more cross beams. But yeah, no, it was really great just talking to the two of them. And I actually found, as I was trying to pull some stuff to get signed, early on Saturday while I was prepping, I actually kept some of the masking tape for when we sent that stuff off to Mitch to get signed. And he had put masking tape over the top of it and written signed on it, so he knew which ones we were done with.
For the Detective 1027 variants. Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, you remember this? And he goes, I remember that. And Tom's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's from when they was taping it. He's like, and you kept it? I'm like, yeah, why not? So it was pretty funny. But yeah, no, they were great. Kevin took a really nice shot for us at the booth. Got all of us in there, including Mandy in the background, which was awesome. Picked up some prints. I needed some decorations for my house, so I got the Dark Side Veggie Tray 9-panel for the kitchen.
I love it.
For my living room, I got the last Brave in the Mold print that they had with Bruce Wayne and Swamp Thing sitting in the den area. And then what was the other one? Oh, I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive for the soft cover. I got that headshot print, so I'm probably going to put that up somewhere. But yeah, no, hung out there for a minute. Our friend Seth was there around the same time, so we saw Seth there. He got some stuff signed, and then we kind of broke off, and I went to a couple more people. I saw Yannicka Paquette. He had a Swamp Thing #1 from the New 52 print, and he actually drew a little Swamp Thing head on the bottom of it, and then like watercolored it. So it was pretty cool to kind of watch him do that. Yeah, and then it was kind of just we wandered around the floor, talking to some creators here and there. I was mainly kind of just trying to show my kids what like a convention was, because they've never actually been to a toy convention, but not like one that's a comic book or a fan one. But they were having a really great time. But I had actually paid for one of the photo ops, which we ended up going to on the third floor, which is where they were doing. So one side was the signing area, and then the other side they had the photo ops.
Yeah, this is like the professional photos. It's weird. One of my guys from the store, he got some taken on Friday. He did like the preview night Friday, and they had like the barrier. Yours doesn't.
No,
did they take that down?
No. They offered the barrier for the celebrities that wanted it.
Okay.
So because that was in the fine print for when you did the order.
It just depends on who.
It just depends on who you were.
Yeah, because we did like the booth selfie. We didn't do the professional photos. Yeah. So
I opted to do that, and I was going to do Katie Sackhoff, but she canceled. But the other one I was going to do was I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get Mason Alexander Park, because they play Desire on Sandman, and I wanted to I was like, Sandman, yes, awesome.
That's really cool. I was hoping when I saw them on there, I was like, oh, are we gonna get some other people? Because that would have changed things significantly.
So
if they were gonna bring in
Sturgis, like a
if they were gonna bring in some of the other characters too. So,
but
again, like I said, just Desire, cool. Didn't feel the need to do it. If it was
well, that's the thing, is they're most likely going to have something maybe down the road that's Sandman's up for season 2, so they're probably going to have something going down the road. But I signed up for Mason, and I also signed up for Ryan Hurst, who was from Sons of Anarchy, Bosch. He played a character in Bosch, but he's in like the voice for Thor in God of War, Ragnarok. So I had gotten all that stuff situated. We finally went upstairs. Like we wandered around the second floor to see the panel area, and I was showing the kids like, hey, here's the panels, and you go and you would sit in, all this stuff. But we got up there, and there was, the con was pretty empty. Like there was no point in time where I felt really cramped, even when it started to get into that like noontime, early afternoon, when the convention's in full swing at that point. But we were up there super early. I thought we were going to have to line up, way before. No, we really had to kind of only wait until like 10 minutes prior. We lined up, and there was me, my kids, and 3 other people waiting in line. Like there was nobody really doing the photo ops at that time. Like at the time we were there, like before I'd seen a few more people. But yeah, those photo op things go super fast.
Yeah, they do tend to spread it out, so it'll be, who's there for what person. So it's not like 10 are on at the same time. It's like you're going to get just kind of a flow of people. Yeah. So
like I think they had
they do go by very fast.
Yeah, but they had a group one earlier, and like Kathy Lotz was the one before us, and then Mason came up, and we went in. It was so quick, my son forgot to take his mask off. But we got a really good shot with Mason, and I decided to bring my Sandman Volume 4, the hardcover, that old leather bound hardcover, with the embossed Key to Hell on it. Which, if listeners have listened to this podcast, they know the story behind. I borrowed Ryan's copy, and then it somehow got lost when I moved, and then I had to replace it. But I actually eventually got my own copy. I brought it because they have the descriptions of all the Endless in that collection, with the Season of Mist story arc. So, I was like, well, I'll have Mason sign it. So we took the picture and then went over to the basically left there and went straight over to the celebrity area, and Mason was there, and we ended up talking to them for, good 5-10 minutes, just hanging out. They signed, I paid for the signature. I got them to sign it, and now I've started a trend. So I'm going to have to get, everyone else in the book, but really great. Very personable, like talked to my kids, like said hi, was super excited to like, just seem to be there. We were talking about like, celebrities even geeking out at other celebrities and stuff. And Mason's handler was talking about like something with Brent Spiner, who played Data, and
Brent Spiner. Yeah. He was like right next to him. Yeah,
he was right next to him, but he wasn't there. He's telling the story, and then like right after he tells the story, Brent comes out from behind the curtain behind Mason, and I'm like, look, speak of the devil. And Brent kind of looks at me funny and then goes over to his table, but like laughs about it. So, but yeah, no, it was really great. And like, the only reason we stopped really talking to Mason was somebody else came up in line and was patiently waiting, and it felt really kind of just easygoing and fun. And then we kind of putzed around a little while. We went back and we went back to the show floor, or we ate lunch and then went back to the show floor, talked to Mitch and Tom again. But yeah, and then we kind of left. I want to say we left around like 4:00 to kind of catch the 4:50 train home. So we didn't stay to the convention till it ended, but by that time the kids were kind of exhausted from all the walking and stuff like that. But they had a really good time. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be pretty good for the kids too, because it was a decent amount of. It was a good mix of stuff.
Yeah,
they had a lot of anime stuff there. So
yeah, there was like a bunch. There was anime stuff. There was different. I actually got a print of an Aloy, like black and white sketch piece, or like just drawing piece that was really cool. So I was like, now I got to find a place to make my Aloy shrine for this Horizon Forbidden, game. But hey, whatever. But yeah, no, really fun. just overall, I think a really great experience.
Yeah. Any last minute, Toby?
Well, I ran into Toby in the afternoon because Toby said, "Hey, what's up?"
Well, it was pretty funny. I pretended to attack the daughter, and then she kind of froze up, looked at me, and instead of saying hello like a normal person, she just walked away and went straight to you, and we're like, Dad, here's Toby. I'm like, what the fuck? Hello, like,
yeah. I was like, what are you talking? What? Oh, hey, Toby.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Well, because Toby, when I turn around and look at Toby's standing there going, "Hey, what's up?" with a long box, and I'm not talking like long box and comic long box. I'm talking.
Did you get the sword, Toby?
Yeah, well, about that.
What?
About that. About
I'm
that.
not sure who's still. I'm not sure who's still listening at this point in the audience.
Oh,
but
Toby!
I'm very interested
Toby.
in hearing this. I haven't heard any of this.
Oh, so Saturday, I think it was very early on, probably like the second booth we walked by. I see this. It's like one of those. They had a couple of these sword vendors, and I see this one sword, and I'm like, "Holy hell!" It's the sword. Now, I'll not mention which sword it is yet, and some people that know me may immediately know what sword it is. But I was like, "Holy hell!" But I was like, "But it didn't come out yet. This is not the one. This is not the real one." Then I look at the price, going, oh, "Holy hell! This is kind of affordable. It's not like the one that I wanted to get. That's really expensive. I probably can't get." So I'm like, and no disrespect to the vendor, but highly unlikely it's licensed. It's probably a bootleg. Hence the price, probably quality is different. Again, no disrespect to the vendor, but I'm like, I should just walk away from it. And the entire Saturday, besides the Smallville people, in my head, I'm like, do I pull the trigger? Do I do this? Do I do it? And even after Smallville, I was like, as Ryan and the guys were leaving, I'm like, do I run back in and get that bloody sword? And of course, like, that night, I'm like, starting to research the sword. I looked at pictures. I'm like, wait, do I want to go back tomorrow? Like, so basically I did the Kevin thing where I'm like, I was pretty much actually kind of done, but that sword lingered in my head. And even like the next morning, like after I realized, Elaine already took off, like you're already gone. And I'm like, you know what? I could get a lot done today. I got some stuff in the yard I want to take care of. I'm like, do I just let this go? I had I ate lunch. I played some video games with my sister. And the entire time I'm like, that sword is really going to bug me if I don't go get it. So after a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drive up there. So I got in my car, started driving. It's funny, I was talking to my sister on the phone, and she was like, oh, yeah, there's a Smallville. I'm like, what time? If I'm going up, I might as well go see the Smallville panel. And she goes, oh, it's right now. I'm like, I had to plan this a little better. I could have probably got a little more out of the day, but I basically went up there, went straight to that vendor. And I was like, I want to see that sword. And he went to grab some other one. I'm like, this is not the fucking sword I was talking about. I'm talking about that one. He goes, oh, that's the last one. I'm like, all right, well, can I see it? And he was kind of weird about it. I'm like, dude, no, seriously, like, because he had like zip tied on a rack or something, right? He begrudgingly kind of walked out and he snipped it off. I took it out. I'm like, okay, the blade is not sharp. It's just a piece of metal. I'm like, do you think I can sharpen this? He goes, probably. I mean, who knows if I can or not, but I'm still there like, you know what? I got to do it. So because it's been bugging me for like so many fucking hours that if I walk away at that point and I'm like, it was $120 sword. I looked him straight in the face on $100 cash. He goes, sure. And, it had some scratches, whatever, but it was like, sure. They packed it up and I'm like, okay, I'm actually pretty happy right now. As I walked away, I was like, I'm actually pretty happy I did this right now. So as people may know, I'm a huge He-Man fan. So when I saw that damn He-Man sword, man, I just had to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's been replicas of this thing before.
I've never seen one.
Really?
Ever. I mean, as a kid, I had a crappy plastic one that looked more like a dagger than a sword.
Yeah.
And then, I forgot which company is doing it. They have an official licensed one that's coming out that looks amazing, by the way. It's also a little expensive. But, I like, this is a fraction of the price. Maybe I actually can play with it. It'll be cool on the wall. I couldn't pass it up, man. I basically went back for the sword. Like, look, I'll be honest with you, some of the celebrities, like I really was thinking about going back up for some of the Cobra Kai guys, maybe even do Smallville again. But the money I have already spent at that point, I'm like, you know what, I shouldn't tempt myself. But I was like, I'm gonna kick myself if I do not get that sword. So I literally went back, got the sword. After I got the sword, I went to the Jim Lee guys again to see if that 60 for 60 book is still there. They were sold out at the point. And at that point, I was like, shit, I might be done. I may have driven up and got my shit done in 10 minutes. At that point, I kind of walked around. I actually was even thinking about hitting you up, Kevin, going, or even Brock. I'm like, that was like my backup plan. I was like, if I don't go, I may have one of those guys just pick a bloody sword up for me. And I was like, but I'll be a little weird because, Brock has the kids, he has a carry. And I didn't think he was going to pack in like this like brown box. I thought he was just going to hand it to you. So I'm like, Brock walking around with 2 kids and a giant sword probably wouldn't work. And I was like, Kevin probably has books. That probably wouldn't work. So I'm like, fuck, I'll go up there and get it. I do not regret it.
Kevin had to take off.
Yeah. No, I texted. I knew he was already gone. But I was like, yeah, I do not regret that at all. I'm quite happy with my fake He-Man sword.
The joy on Toby's face as he was holding that box to his chest and just it hitting, like, it's like the box is up to his chest and to the floor. And I'm like, he's happy. Like,
oh, dude, I was stoked, man. There's only so many swords like look, there's cars that could bring me that kind of joy. Like if I ever get like a 1987, 86 a Pontiac Trans Am, that shit just in the driveway will make me happy. Like I'll sit in it. It doesn't even have to be drivable anymore. The kit car that will make me happy. The A-Team van would make me thoroughly happy. And on swords, it's the He-Man sword. So
nice.
Yeah, but I was quite stoked about it. I did end up getting a couple of prints. Justin Orr, he does really cool like stylish movie poster type of stuff. So I got a really cool Wu-Tang print because that's another thing I kind of walked by like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, like 3 or 4 times or 6 times. Well, that's where I was when I saw you. But yeah. I basically walked by that thing like 3, 4, or 5 times on Saturday, going, "Should I pull the trigger? Should I pull the trigger? Should I pull?" And I was like, "If it's lingering in my head that long, I should just pull the trigger because it was awesome." It's like the Wu-Tang Clan, the members, and there was so many hidden like things in the actual print, which is what I really like. I like looking at a piece of art and like just finding new things every time you look at it. Like there's like hidden wording or just the shapes will like actually build a letter and stuff like that. So I was like, this is too cool. So I picked that up, and then I basically, because I had a giant sword, I was like, well, I'm not going to go to Celebrity Row with a giant sword. So I went back to the car to drop it off, and at that point, I was kind of at a crossroads. I actually kind of sat down. I kind of totaled everything up, and I was like, you know what? I have other bills I need to take care of. And I was struggling, man. I basically had a good 10 minutes there where it was like, do I go back? Do I go see, like, the Cobra Kai guys? Do I go see the other celebrities I want to see again? And I decided at that point, like, you know what? I'm pretty happy. I had a great con. It was a fantastic con. It's a good place to walk away, and it won't bother me. And let's not just get tempted. Like, let's not go back and don't get tempted. And so I was like, you know what? This is good. I'm gonna go home, save some stuff for next time, which is a dangerous thing. It's very dangerous to do these days because you never know when people are going to be still around or come back. But basically, I told myself I'm going to save a couple of people for next con. And hopefully they come back, and it'll be another good one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I also saw Kevin before you left because you were so tapped out at that point. And that was just before, that was around noon. You just couldn't stay any longer because you had gotten the...
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had to leave, dude. Come on.
Yeah, because you were like, I can't do this. I can't do, like, because you came up behind me and like, I spent way too much money. And I'm like, are you okay?
Dude, Sunday was more expensive for me than Friday.
Oh, Jesus.
And I just went, yeah. But you know what?
Yeah,
I felt great about Sunday. Money aside, I felt great about Sunday because it went everything clicked exactly how you'd want it.
Yep. Yeah.
Nothing, I didn't get everything that I went up there for was accomplished like to the letter. It was great.
Yeah, I overtook stuff like but I felt that it was like I hadn't been in a con in a long time, so for me it was just over preparing. But I was just like the kids had a great time. It was low, like the stress was really just kind of low. Even though like Ryan Hurst canceled, it was kind of just like, okay, like I really felt that despite the little things and stuff like that, and it being on Thanksgiving weekend, I thought it was a really solid convention. Like, yeah,
that's what I was saying. My hope is that it did well enough for it to, for people to come back and then to keep doing it. And
so that's the one thing I heard on Sunday a lot of when I was walking around with the kids was just kind of like the vendors were not happy about it.
Yeah, vendors are never happy.
Because like, and even some of the like the creators, but they're the smaller ones. But it's like they're like, and I'm like, what do you expect? It's Thanksgiving weekend. Like, this is more going to be targeted for people trying to, meet celebrities or, meet comic book creators. It's not necessarily something that they're going to be doing a ton of spending.
No, it has to build up a little bit, and you got to give it a little time. But I'm just happy there's a con back in the Bay Area again of this kind of caliber. It's been a while. I like it that there's a con I could just drive through as opposed to every other con where I have to jump on a plane and get a or drive a long time and get hotel rooms and all that stuff, which all adds to the cost. So this one, and I actually we said this so many times in today's podcast, but the size was just right. It was very, very enjoyable. It had nice caliber of people that showed up, and it was just it was just fun. It was just fun.
I can't believe how much. How much mileage we got out of it on the show. I thought this would be a 20-minute topic.
No, it was. I think because it was just such a good overall experience, like for everybody. Like and you there were things going on. Like they had gaming going on. They had all of this other stuff. Cosplay stuff going on. Like there was so much different stuff. You could have gone to that convention and focused on just those things and had a great time. Like,
I mean, that's a pretty standard fare for cons these days. They know what they're doing. They had more like celebrity cosplayers here than I generally see at any comic convention. So it seemed to be an okay draw. That area seemed they were getting visitors. So yeah.
Did you guys see the Sentinel?
I didn't have a Sentinel.
So on Sunday, there was
some bigger cosplayers, but
there was a guy in a virtually full Sentinel suit.
That's cool.
Like it was pretty awesome. There was some I told the kids, I'm like, if you want to take pictures with the cosplayers, all you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Right. Just say, hey, may I take a picture? Like my kids didn't really want to. They were kind of just shy, but it was. Yeah, and everyone was nice. Like I didn't really have anyone that was like a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like mean or anything. So yeah.
Like I said, I just hope it's, for the celebrities, and it's nice because they'll kind of come out regardless. I hope it's good enough for the comic people that they can keep getting good quality guests out, and the vendors will always show up. So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, but that's it. Any last thoughts on Fan Expo?
No,
just done.
I need some more Sandman characters.
Maybe next year.
I got to fill my new book.
Yeah, maybe next year. Well, that is it. Thank you all for listening. It's a wonderful, wonderful episode of the podcast. If you've been to a Fan Expo and you have thoughts on how they're run, again, I have had other people reach out to me and tell me they have had pretty good times. So, if there's one in your town, check them out. Like I said, I think it was pretty good for a mid-tier con. Thank you to our Patreon backers and all our high-tier backers, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at ClearPathCoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much for your continued support at Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Head over to ComicConspiracyPodcast.com and Apple Podcasts for all our previous episodes, and wherever you get your wonderful podcasts, you can subscribe, and we'll
43, Ryan. 43
43
degrees outside.
Yeah, Well, it's good thing you're biking and working when I sweat.
It's an e-bike. It's an e-bike.
From Dumb and Dumber just flashed in my head.
No sweat breaking.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Bloody cold.
Man. I'm just imagining Toby freezing his butt off having to pee to get warm.
Comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can purchase comic books from us directly for pickup mail order. Always lots of good stuff on there.
Ship those out.
Yeah. Check out conspiratobrock.com for all Brock's stuff when he's got the time. Go check out the Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast, talking all about the Doctor. And Kevin's weekly interview series, Between the Panels, fmbasepress.com. I have not seen your last few articles. Who have you done?
Well,
who you talked to
recently?
recently?
Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Hey, is it
sorry,
the
man.
Winning, or is it the Eisner nominated?
Unless you're hiving them, baby, I'm not seeing them. So buzz them, Kevin. I'll see them.
Oh, Hive, yeah.
Hive, yeah. Oh my God, dude.
No, Kevin, you need to RSS feed them for Ryan to see.
Oh Jesus, who am I? This week is Rebecca Nolte, who is a super talented colorist who's done a ton of books that I am unfortunately too exhausted to be able to list for you right now. She lives in Ireland. Super fun, super interesting person, and a great conversation about the art of comic book coloring.
Cool. Nice. My wife Leanne is at leannehill.com, and her art is at etsy.com, or you can buy her art, which is at leannehill.com. You can buy it at etsy.com/shop/leannehillart.
Is she doing holiday commissions?
Yeah, she always does commissions, yeah.
I have a bone to pick before we wrap this completely up. And I wanted to mention it publicly.
Uh-oh.
I don't want Ryan to be able to back out.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
So ever since this con has been announced, I was egging Ryan on to do a live recording.
Okay, yeah. To do a live podcast there.
At the show as a panel. And Ryan, like the whole time, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Doing the right, whatever.
Just gonna go to that. No one's gonna watch this nonsense live.
Yeah, but whatever. Let's have fun, right? And Ryan would just not fucking commit. And he was like, they probably don't have it set up. They probably don't have anything to do like that. Of course, the first fucking picture that Lane sends me is a sign of live podcast recording.
Yeah, they have like 6 going on at the Fan Expo.
I was like, Ryan, and you what? This is what Ryan said with his straight face. Well, should have freaking signed up. I'm like, hold on, because if it was just about doing the legwork, I absolutely would have signed up. I just need Ryan to commit to it. I just need a nod. I go, I will do it if this all works out. So Ryan Higgins. For 2000,
if there's a panel, obviously I'm going to be on it. So yeah, do it. That's fine. I'll do it.
All right. Yeah. Publicly, I needed you to get it to say publicly that you're going to do it. Because
any day now, me and Bryce are going to do our Man of Steel commentary. Any day now. Live Man of Steel commentary.
Ryan, I'm glad you brought that up because I need some items for the New Year's poll.
Oh yeah, it's gonna.
And Ryan would not budge. I was like, "Come on, Ryan! Like, if it's about the letter word, I'm gonna sign up next year. I'm gonna do it. And I was like,
"Go for it."
But no, you jerk off. You just kind of give me that little side smile. I'm like, what does that mean? That's not a commitment, Ryan. Say yes. Shake my hand. He would not do it.
Don't even get me started on getting people on the podcast and stuff like that. You have to do the legwork. Like, if you do the legwork, it'll he don't care.
Oh, it's happening.
Too busy.
It's happening next year.
Yeah,
we'll get like more people showing up for it, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, whatever happens.
We'll be in the audience.
If you're on Hive, follow me at Ryan Higgins. Hopefully that update comes out this week and make the app a little more usable.
Oh,
I heard Hive is done by like 3 people or 2.
That Android app is like
it's like a
sweet flashback to those days of like 26.6 dial-up modem.
Yeah, it's just unusable. It's unusable.
You just stare at that bar.
Oh my god, man! It's like, wow, this is some nostalgia. All I need is like a pixelated image, just slowly line by line.
So yeah.
Like I heard Hive was started by a 23-year-old.
Yeah. They were college kids.
And there's like 2 people. Even now, there's only like 3 of them.
I think they have 3 employees. Yeah.
Holy hell!
Yep.
They're going to be. Can we send them some crack cocaine?
They're kids.
They're going to be awake. They're going to be awake for a while.
Yeah, they have. The girl that rented, she was like, I didn't sleep for like 4 days when everything blew up.
Gotta introduce them to good stuff at some point. I'm totally kidding, by the way. I'm joking. If people don't realize that, yeah.
If you're still on Twitter for some reason and you haven't left that hellhole, follow me at Ryan Higgins Ryan, but I have no intention of using that account anytime soon. Brock is Brock Sager, Toby's Toby XI, Charlie's Insanity and Chaos, Kevin is at Kevin Sharp in the stores, Comics Con store, and go listen to Geekbox. The hell did we talk about this week? I remember I was on yesterday.
Is there a video game that's out that people are talking about?
We talked about the Weird Al movie.
You haven't played anything?
I talked about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for a bit. I talked about the new WoW expansion for a bit. Ryan and Justin talked about Marvel Snap for a bit.
Oh, Marvel Snap.
I'm off. I'm already done with it.
I'm snapping, baby.
People are so mad at it now with the new what's that?
They updated and released the coin thing.
Yeah, like everyone hates all the new shit. So already.
Well, I think the problem is like it's just. I think somebody I saw on Twitter was like, "Hey, Marvel Snap, can we talk about these pixel variants?"
Yeah, they're trash.
It's like nobody wants any of this shit, and it keeps popping up.
People forgot it's a mobile game, so you're all fucked. And check out Manga Nations. Our friends talking about manga and anime. Go listen to them. They've got some good stuff out there. All right, that's it.
The Slam Dunk movie is coming out soon, I think.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of Manga Nation, yeah,
nice. That's it. We're done. We're gonna stop now, and I will catch everyone next week. Goodbye.